South African President Ramaphosa. But I don't want to talk about this thing in a funny way or as if I'm laughing or as if I'm giving wutu wutu, because I don't want to give wutu wutu to South Africans. I really don't want to give wutu wutu to Nigerians or Ghanaians or anybody. Yeah, I don't want wutu wutu again. I want to really do it in a constructive way that no South African should be offended. At least a South African should see reason and understand with why their president is doing that. And Nigerians will also see reason why the president is doing that. So that at least we can be constructive and build a better Africa. You understand? Yeah. So the South African president Ramaphosa came out saying that Nigerians can come to South Africa. He gave them, he's like opening South Africa door. What Ramaphosa just did is like, he just said, open the gates for Nigerians to come in. Open all the gates. Let them be open. Let our Nigerians come. That's what Ramaphosa is doing. And he did it in a very funny way because he said he wants Nigerian investors to come to South Africa. He also said he wants like a 5-year visa for Nigerians to come to South Africa. He even said Nigerians can apply for South African visa without passports. That one puts me for ground. That one puts me for ground because that's really funny. Like, Nigerians should apply for South African passport for South African visa even without passports, and they are willing to give 5 years. 5. Not be 5 days. 5 years. And then they are willing to give you multiple entry, as if you could just they go South Africa, they come back, just they go, they come back. So the thing now can't ring a bell into my head, and I'm like, what is going on? Because this is very crucial, guys. Whether you're a Nigerian or a South African, this is very, very crucial. And that's why we must pay attention to how we spread this information. And any content creator out there that is using this speech of the South African president as a tool to fuel division between Nigerians and South Africans, you are making a very big mistake, because we have to analyze the situation critically and see what the president is trying to do. The moment the president is making this speech or this statement, you know how hot it has been between Nigeria and South Africa recently because of the Chidinma Vanessa issue. How Chidinma Vanessa was chased, rejected, pushed out of South Africa, her ID card cancelled, and many other issues. Then she then moved on to Miss Universe to win and become, so there's a lot going on between Nigerians and South Africa at the moment, and a lot of Nigerians felt offended. Whether you like it or not, the thing is, Nigeria government don't talk. You will never see Nigeria government come out on social media or the president of Nigeria and address an African country and say, oh, this African country, we don't like the way you treat our Nigerian brothers and sisters. This African country, we don't like what you did to our people. Nigeria government will never do that. You understand? But the Nigeria government has a way of letting African countries know that you are doing this to our citizens, which is not correct. So the South African government, that's what I'll say, because their home affairs is representing the South African government. The way they treated Chidinma Vanessa, the way they come at Nigerians, the way they have handled the xenophobia issues in South Africa, the division has become so visible, so visible. The division between South Africa and Nigeria, it grew to the point where it's now becoming a very, very big problem for Africa. And these are two countries that are supposed to be the leading giants of Africa, the leading economies of Africa. And the South African government just sat down and watched all of that happen. And I think that the Nigeria government in their own way made it clear to the South African government that we are not satisfied with what you have done to Chidinma Vanessa. We are not satisfied with all the xenophobia that's going on in the country against blacks in general, not just Nigerians. We are not satisfied here. We are not satisfied there. This is what is going on. So I believe that the Nigerian government has made it clear to the South African government that we are one Africa. And there must be a reaction from the South African government to assure Nigerians and to assure the world that the South African government is not standing for the division of Africa, that the South African government is not standing for xenophobia. So in my opinion, that is what is happening right now in South Africa between the South African government and the Nigerian government. So if you see the South African government, even when you saw him talking, you knew that a lot has happened in the background before the South African president Ramaphosa will come out and start saying that. He was speaking and he knew fully well that a lot of South Africans will rise against what he's saying. As you can see, a lot of comments from social media, many South Africans are reacting. You can see what they are saying. I'll be posting it here so you can see how South Africans are reacting. Because you could clearly feel it from the South African president that he knew that this will create something in the political atmosphere and even in the social media of South Africa. He knew what he was pressing that button, but he also knew the importance of not pressing that button. So it was a question of, should I now say I want to satisfy South Africans who don't want Nigerians, who don't want Africans, who want to fuel xenophobia and hate? Should I satisfy them, or should I go for the bigger goal, which is African unity, which is love and peace between Nigeria and South Africa, which is uniting the African continent as a big brother that Nigeria and South Africa are to the rest of the African country? The South African president and the government ask themselves the right question: what is more important for the South African people, for the South African government, for the Africans? What is more important? And I think that that is the question that the South African president and the government answered correctly, because they knew that even though this will make South Africans unhappy, we have to say it so that the message will be clear that South Africa is not against Nigerians, that the South African government is not a xenophobic government, that the South African government is a government of peace, it's a government that loves Africa and loves unity amongst African countries. And so that is how I felt. That is how I analyzed the situation. So if you are a South African, or let me start with the South Africans who are making all these comments saying that their government must go, they regret why they voted for Ramaphosa, this government doesn't care about South Africans. I don't think, some of them are asking, so are you telling us we don't have South African entrepreneurs, business people in South Africa to invest in this country? Why are you inviting Nigerians to come over? See, what you don't know is bigger than you. Let me be honest. I myself, that's one thing I know for sure. See, I have a policy in life. If an elderly person, any elderly person, either you are elderly than me in age, or you are elderly than me in money, if you get more money than me, if you do more, if your business is bigger than mine, if you are bigger than me in any way, I think you know better than me. Because if I knew better than you, I would be bigger. So, as a South African citizen, what you don't know is bigger than you. You don't know better than your president. You don't love that country, South Africa, better than your president. You don't love Africa. You don't know the insight of what is happening inside the government and inside Africa better than your government. So before you start reacting to social media, before you start jumping and criticizing your president, you have to ask yourself the right questions. What will cause our president in South Africa to come out and invite Nigerians and beg Nigerians to come to our country? Those are the questions you should be asking yourself. That is the valid question. And for me, I think it was due the South African government do this. I think it's absolutely perfect. I know that many Nigerians will also take this as an opportunity to laugh at South Africans and say, oh, see, we told you, you guys can't do without us. You are still begging us to come. I understand. It should just be a joke at that level. It shouldn't be to the intention or to the extent where it will now stir more negativity in the hearts of the South Africans. Because now that the South African government is saying, Nigerians, you can come and invest, you can come and stay, you can be free. This doesn't mean that Nigerians should provoke these South Africans, because if you provoke them, the Nigerians that are going there or they're already there, these South Africans will pick it up on them and start looting. Because any small thing in South Africa don't start to the loot. Any small thing South Africans don't start to the para. We all know how they behave. So as our make we just treat them, say that they be what Peking, make we just treat them, you know, as Peking they be. So we go manage their emotion. Their emotion not too strong like that. We go just welcome the information and thank the South African president for at least trying to fix the situation, trying to apologize, trying to mend ways, trying to make it better for Nigeria and South Africa to live together. But then we go package ourselves. You see, I don't give them wutu for this video. And so we go tell they do this matter now, so that we understand that their brain is not as emotionally strong as us. So we'll know how we'll deal with them in order not to hurt them emotionally and push them to start being looting, and you know, before you know, another big issue will come out again. That's how I reason my own. That's how I think we should handle this issue from here on. So guys, it is what it is. Your boy Ajim Max on this one again. Expect more. Come on anytime you're free, because there's always more beautiful and amazing videos just for y'all. God bless y'all. Cheers.